Hey people, it's me again. How you doing?
Yo,
I just wanted to do this to show you some of the best 80s horror films, and so let's begin. Now, the first one I'm going to show you is a mainstream one because I want to get this one out of the way, but still one I really like a lot. It's The Nightmare on Elm Street, just an all-around classic horror film made by Wes Craven, and compared to the sequels, this is probably the best one out of all of them. I like the second one a lot, but this still is all around a great film. It's true horror. It's a slasher film, which I'm not too big of a fan of, but Robert Englund makes it a great film. To be honest with you, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Freddy Krueger is hilarious in all these movies, but I found him best in this one. I didn't like Freddy vs. Jason. I don't know why, but I don't know. This is good though. Very good film. I recommend it for anyone who likes Wes Craven, Robert Englund, and Freddy Krueger. Oh yeah, and Johnny Depp dies a horrible death in this movie. Sorry if I ruined that for some of you fan goes out there. Alright, next one is The Evil Dead 2. Now, the only reason why I'm showing this one is this is the only one I own. I have nothing against the other ones. I just haven't got around to buying the other ones. This is just my personal favorite one out of all of them. Simply probably because it has like humor and horror, which I like a lot, and I mean a lot. This is just a very well done film. Good atmosphere, good horror, good comedy, and just look at that. That's hilarious. Anyways, check it out. And for the record, the people who say this is both a sequel and a remake, it's not. They even said themselves, it's not. Alright. Next one is Stephen King classic, Silver Bullet. Well done film. It has that one kid from The Lost Boys, and Gary Busey's in it too. I suggest anyone should check this out. If you're a fan of werewolves, Stephen King, if you like tongue-in-cheek humor in your horror, this is for you. I promise you, you'll enjoy this. It's a lot of fun, good atmosphere, some blood in there. It made my mom scream, so. Alright, next is the always great Basket Case. Now, some people know this, some people don't. This is just all around a well done film, especially for a splatter flick. It's, when you see this selection, usually there's a lot of like tongue-in-cheek horror. Well, that's how it was in the 80s, to be honest with you. Now, this is just an all-around great film. Lino, or whatever his name is really cool looking. And it's a shame that they show him on the cover because you're not supposed to know what he looks like until you watch the movie. But it's still an all-around great film. A lot of fun, a lot of gore, a lot of splatter, a lot of humor. The ending may lead some people off, but there's a sequel where I'm not going to ruin it for you. Alright, the next one is Return of the Living Dead. Now, some people see this as a horror comedy, some people see this as, well, actually more people see this as a horror comedy. Yeah, I have to agree, but it's like, there's some moments where it's comical, but it's also some moments where it's actually pretty serious. It's more funny in the beginning, but like when it starts reaching the end, it starts getting more serious. And for all you people who think 20 Days Later started the whole running zombies thing, this came out before it, and this had running zombies, except this was a well done film. I have nothing against 20 Days Later, but people call that a zombie movie all the time when it's actually an infection movie. Alright. The next one is, I know no one owns this one. I'm probably like one of the 10 people who does. The Monster Club, and this is like Creep Show, but except it's more independent. You can tell things are fake. Like when they first enter the club, you see the monsters there, and you can tell they're like masks glued on the shirts, and they put them over their head. It looks so bad, but at the same time, it has like this good film to it. It's like a little happy film. Like the third story ends kind of depressing, like, but the second one is probably my favorite. And Vincent Price, who's this guy right here, is an awesome vampire. He's a great storyteller in this, and I suggest anyone check that out. Oh yeah, this was an American release. This is the American DVD, but it's, however, not official release in America. You can get it at FYE.com, but it even says that this movie was not made for American release, but who cares? Alright, this is one that some people know about, but some people don't. It's The Monster Squad. All around great fun film. I recommend it for anyone who likes comedy, horror comedy, and all that. It's a fun film. I love it. It's great. It's the Frankenstein monster's in it, Dracula's in it, the Wolfman's in it, little kids are in it. Remind me of the Goonies, but with a lot of monsters. And it's just all around good fun. And it's not like based around teenagers. It's based around little kids who are trying to kill monsters, which what gets better than that? Alright, I'm gonna start getting into some more serious ones here. The next one is called Near Dark, and I already talked about this one before, and it's all around a great film, recommended for anyone who loves vampires, horror, and violence. And there's some tongue-in-cheek humor in this, mainly by Bill Paxton, though. And you'll notice, if you watch the movie, you'll notice two things. I'm not going to tell you what they are, but you just have to watch it to find out. Okay, the next movie is Hellraiser, and I already did a review on this, so I'm probably not going to go into too much detail. A really well done film, good horror, and it's actually a horror film, which is what I like about it. Recommended for everyone. Alright, I'm in my last two here. The next is Day of the Dead. First there was the Night of the Living Dead, then Dawn of the Dead, and now the darkest day of horror the world has ever seen, or has ever known. George A. Romero's Day of the Dead. Now, the only problem I have with this DVD is there's literally no special features, just some scene selections and some auto commentary. But it's a good film. I don't really care too much about features. I just want to watch a movie. And if I can get extra features for a low price, I'll go for it. But if it's like 20, 30 bucks, I don't really care too much. That's why I didn't get the Super Edition. And that's also the reason why I don't have Blu-ray, is it's too expensive and I don't care for it. Now, this one I mention all the time. It's a great film. And it's my favorite movie of all time. And if you already know what that is, you already know what I'm going to say. Yeah, that's right, The Lost Boys. This is somehow going to be always mentioned in every video I do, almost. Now, this is all around a well-done film. And I mean, it's really well done. It's got tongue-in-cheek humor. It's got good atmosphere. The vampires are really well done. When they're in their human form, they're attractive looking. I'm going to put quotes around that because I'm not gay. Not there's anything wrong with that. But when they turn into their vampire form, they actually look like vampires. And this is a pretty creepy picture. But it's more realistic looking if you see it in the movie. And there's some creepy elements to it too, like when you see, like at the car scene, when they first rip it off, or when they're attacking at the campfire there. They call them the surf Nazis. That's all around good fun. It's a good fun film, and I recommend it for anyone who likes horror. Joel Schumacher, which a lot of people don't like him. He's alright, I guess. Anyways, those are my favorite 80s horror films, and I'd like to say right now that the following films are not horror. The Thing, The Blob, The Fly, and Alien. They're not horror films. They're horrifying, but they fall under the science fiction category. But if you find them as horror, that's fine too. To me, they're not horror. They're chilling, yes, but to me, they're not too horror. Like, when I do my science fiction collection, I'm going to show those in there, for sure. Anyways, those are my 80s horror films. Anyways, I'd like to see what you have to say. What are your favorite 80s horror films? I really want to see what you think. Hope you enjoyed it. And just so you know, the 80s will never die.